What's up? What's up? It is Monday the 13th. Yeah. So we're going to get right in. Make sure you get this in your agenda and let's just keep it pushing, y'all. I was asking people if they'd ever seen this assignment. Most people were like thumbs down. They have not seen it. So that's cool. We're going to do it this week. All right. I did want to say this about the class officers. Good job. Big ups to y'all. Whoever ran, win or lost. I am proud of you, and I'm like, big props to you, because it takes a lot of guts to put your name out there and to try and run and to try and do those things. Now, because the reality is you lose in front of everyone, but you also win in front of everyone. So that can be a hard dichotomy depending on what's going on. Some people are like, oh my gosh, it's just a popularity. And I said, well, kind of. Because think about this. Why would you ever vote for someone that you never saw talk in class, that you never talked to personally? Why would you ever vote for people like that? So that's why it's not necessarily, there is some popularity to it, but then part of that is just socialization. So if you want to be in one of these offices and you didn't get it this time, I would say that might be one thing that you might want to work on is how sociable are you? Because people are not going to vote for people they don't know. They're not going to vote for people who they don't see doing good things, right? Like we're coming up on a presidential election. If there's 5 names for president and 2 of them I've never heard anything from, you think I'm even going to consider voting for them? Not for 1 second, right? I'm only going to consider the people that I've heard from so that way I can make a good decision. So those are just things to be thinking about as you're running. Also, if there are volunteer and there's also help and events and all these different things that are needed for people to do that are not necessarily the officer. So I'm like, if you want to be involved, then be involved. Get involved in those areas. You may not be an officer, but you'll help make the school a funner and more awesome place. And that is also an easy way to get your face and your name out there, so that way when you do try to run again, you'll know you'll have some people know like who you are. So let's talk about how your weekend was. I got to hear from most of you guys, but some of you guys are on a trip, which is awesome. This is how my weekend was. More or less, one of my daughters went to prom. Another one of my daughters likes to go birding, so we went out. Good thing we had these hats, because, boy, that sun was shining. Let me tell you, it was shine. I did see a squirrel. Well, it was still enough for me to take a picture. I didn't get very good pictures of birds because they were really far. We did also I did take a picture of the moon and outside as we were trying to see this aurora borealis, and maybe I did capture a picture of that. I don't know what I captured a picture. I'm going to be 100% honest. I don't know what I captured. But they said the northern lights were kind of visible. And so, like in different places, because of I believe it was because of a radiation, like a radiation burst from the sun, like a solar flare. So, but this is a waxing. So this is the waxing part of the moon. Like the moon's getting more full, right? And then this is my mom's dog. We went to my mom's house for Mother's Day to celebrate, but this is my mom's dog. Love her. She's so cute. Okay. I do want to talk about this just for a second. It's just to stay locked in. Stay locked in. Like we only got about 4-ish weeks left. Stay locked in. And it's not even like a 4 full weeks. Like there's minimum days, like the whole last week of school. Also, we have promotion practice. Why can't I speak right now? Promotion practice, right, during that week. We also have Memorial Day, and we also have the water slide trip. So we got all kinds of things going on. So we're not in here that long. I just need y'all to stay locked in. Do what you're supposed to do. Handle your business. If you do something wrong, if you mess up, just apologize, and let's just move forward and have an awesome last month of the school year. Okay, on to the next thing. Obviously, well, I say do work a lot. Like, do work, son. This is where it actually came from. So here, so obviously that didn't work out. Remember the key. If you're skateboarding, what you're going to want to do, I know this is not a skateboard, but what happens is people go like this. They're like standing on a skateboard and you're like, okay. And then what you do is you go like this and the skateboard keeps going, right? So what you need to do is you need to lean in. So as the skateboard goes down, you go with it. Does that make sense? So the key is fight your natural instincts to lean back and just lean in. That way you and the skateboard keep going at the same speed in the same direction, right? And then that way you can keep going. It's physics. It's simple physics. Like if you lean back, now you're already moving in a different direction than skateboard, and that's why the skateboard goes out, and then you fall back just like you saw with Big Black. That's what happens. Okay, let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. Where we at? We on to the next one. Blot out. Okay. Go ahead and get this done, and then we'll talk about this in just a moment. Again, pause the screen, get this done, and then we'll talk about this in just a moment. All right, hopefully you got that done. Definitely want suggestions because this will be helpful. What are some tips that you would give for students for next year? And then what are some tips you would give also for teachers for next year? How can we make things a little bit better? How can we go about that? So definitely please try and get that, not please try, but please get that in and let me know, because these are things I am looking for. I'm searching for answers. I want to be a better teacher. I want to have a better experience for my students, and I want to have them better prepared. All right, so let's just talk about this real quick. So just as a reminder, we talked about this before we took the state test, but now we're going to talk about it afterward, is, there's the symbol, there's the element name, no big deal. That part should hopefully be straightforward to you at this point. Remember, the atomic number is the number of protons in the nucleus of an atom, and that would be this number up here. The atomic mass is the average mass of the atoms in the element. We'll explain a little bit more like what that is, but remember, this number is mainly protons and neutrons. Electrons are very, very, very small, so they don't make up that much of the atom as far as the mass goes. Also, remember, this kind of gives you like a visual, like, okay, protons are in here, electrons are out there, neutrons are also in here. And remember that an electron is negatively charged, proton is positively charged, and a neutron is neutral. So negative electron, positive protons, and then neutron is neutral. Okay, cool. Now we back in. So we are going to memorize the first 30 elements of the periodic table. You are going to create some flashcards like this. These are the basic rules of what you're going to do, but don't worry, we'll talk about that more in a second. But what we are going to talk about right now is flashcards in general. So what I want you to do, okay, is I want you to write down, again, I'm going to tell you to write down the tips that he gives in this video. And I'm going to have the video like linked below, so I'm not going to play it in this video. So I'm going to have it linked below. I'm going to go over the tips on the next slide. But again, if you want to see them like all like videoed out, then you go ahead and watch it. I will link his video down below. But let's move on to this. Here are the 8 tips, so make sure that you write these down. So 8 better ways to make flashcards. So first thing is make your own flashcards. For reals, make your own flashcards. You miss out on the opportunity to be able to write things down, so just in writing, but then also if you look at this flashcard above, right, like it has these pictures and all this stuff, and it may not make any sense to you, but it makes sense to the person who wrote them, and that's why you should make your own flashcards. Also, mix words and pictures, because we see the world in pictures, right? That is our #1 way that we observe through the world, and so it's just more natural for your brain to have words and pictures, because a lot of times you can visualize and see those pictures. For me, when I studied with flashcards, a lot of times I could see the flashcards in my head because I had those images. Use mnemonic devices to create mental connections. So a lot of times people would use things like, they would be like OxyClean, oh, that reminds me of oxygen, so they would draw a thing of oxygen. Some people drew a hydro flash for hydrogen, right? So there's things like that that can help you with remembering. And again, it could be a visual, or it could be like a mnemonic, a common mnemonic that is used as Roy G. Biv. You guys are like, what's that? What's Roy G. Biv? Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. So Roy G. Biv helps me remember all the colors of the rainbow, right? Again, it's a mnemonic or a short saying that helps you remember things, okay? Write only 1 question per card. I have forced you kind of into that, into saying like we're only going to have 1 element per card, right? But you definitely want to do that, because if not, you can make things very complex. That ties into number 5, which says break complex concepts down into multiple questions. So if they ask you about the different families of the periodic table, if I was asking you that, then you wouldn't want to put them all in 1 card. You want to break them up into several different cards, so that way you're memorizing only that portion, and you won't think like, oh, well, I memorized 3 out of the 4 things. No, you don't remember them all. You remember 3 out of 4. So that's why you want each of them on a separate card. Saying your answers out loud. Now, this is massively important as it pertains to studying, because what you want to do is you want to say what the answer is before. Hold on, and y'all still be able to hear me. I'm gonna grab my flashcard real quick. before, right, before you actually look at the answer. So what you want to do, right, is, so I'm going to say potassium. Okay, cool. So that means I actually know it. Fluorine. Boom. Hold on. Fluorine. All right, cool. It means I actually know it. Oxygen. Okay, that one's good. Here, let's just grab one. Ooh, I don't even know. I don't even know what this one is. Is this one? This is, I'm guessing. I'm guessing at this point. Is this plutonium? Boom, it's platinum, which means I would put it in a card where I'm like, oh, I don't know that one. But see, I had to, since I said it out loud, then I committed to it. So I think this is manganese, right? Manganese, yep. All right, cool. I'm just gonna pull out another, I think this one is Sabithium. Oh, Antinium. Totally wrong. Totally wrong. But I committed to the answer, and that lets me know that either I know it or I don't know it. And that's what you want to know, is you want to know, do I know the answer or do I not know the answer? Because then what's going to happen is, as I'm sorting these into two different piles, and we'll talk about this more, is these are the ones that I know, these are the ones that I don't know. So I did get to review these, but I'm going to spend more time reviewing over these ones that I did not know. Does that make sense? So, and that's what you want to do, is be able to separate the information you know from what you don't know. That's why you got to commit saying your answer out loud. Turn your flashcards over, and then you're going to want to study them from this side, this way, and be like, okay, well, this one, it should be He, helium, right? He, helium. All right, cool. I know that one. Oh, these are some other things. All right. Gallium, I think it's Ga. Oh, where are we at? Now, this one is on the edge. I might put this in the one that I'm kind of, because I was hesitant, but I know it was gallium, and I said Ga. Okay. Chromium. Ooh, Cr. Yeah, we got it. Again, that one was one I was a little bit hesitant. Krypton, that is the Kr. Boom, I know that one. Okay, cool. Argon, these ones are, oh, Ar, right? So again, you say it out loud, and then you also want to study them from both sides. So make sure you do that. And then the last thing is, don't treat flashcards like a silver bullet. And it's just this idea that they used to say, oh, the only way to kill a werewolf is to unalive a werewolf, right? Unalive a werewolf is you gotta stab it or shoot it with pure silver, right? And that's the only way. Well, flashcards are not the only way to be able to do something. There's more than one way, but this is a great way to memorize information, especially if you have a lot of memorization. Flashcards are perfect for that. So that is everything there, and I do just want to show you guys some examples so you can see some of the examples in the background. But sulfur, and they have sole for your shoe, and this is the sole of the shoe. It's furry, so that's how they connected those things. Some people down here put chlorine for 21 Pilots, and some people are like, what does that mean? Well, they have a song called Chlorine, so it makes sense to them. And again, these don't have to make sense necessarily to you. They need to make sense to the person who made them. Remember, that's one of the rules. That's why we say make your own flashcards. Okay, cool. I think we're on to the last thing, which is make your own flashcards, mix pictures and words, write the name of the element on one side. So you're going to have something like this, right? Write the name of the element on one side. And you see here, they wrote the name of the element, or they wrote the name of the element right there, right? They wrote it kind of small, which is okay. And then write the symbol and draw a picture on the other side. So then they have lithium, right? And it should be in color. You can put the atomic number there as well. And you're not going to have to memorize the atomic number. I'm just telling you to put it on there because I think it will help with your overall like learning of the periodic table. I'm not going to test you on the atomic number, but you just have it on there. It will help you with the writing and the memorizing things, and you're going to need to do the first 30. So you are going to need to get some flashcards. I will have flashcards here in class. Okay, I will. But if you're at home, obviously, and you're trying to get started, you need to just get started. Get some flashcards. You should have enough. If you can bring some flashcards in, that would be helpful, and give some to some others. All right, y'all, that is it for today. Peace.